Well, 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 look at this. The big guy in chief and the guy with the big hair are here. What's the plan, fellas? Ready to judge some folks?
Sleepy Joe, Barack. Great to be here, folks. Big ratings, believe me. This podcast is going to be tremendous. We have a winner, I can tell you that right now.
Gentlemen, ready when you are. Let's get to judging, shall we?
AITA for telling my sister I have every right to defend my home after someone started kicking my door in. I 28M and my sister 29F have been close since childhood, though we have very different personalities. She's always been a peacekeeper while I've been more of a protector. Last week, someone tried to break into my house and it's created a massive rift between us that I don't know how to fix. I've been living alone since college, but I recently moved my grandmother 70F in with me. She had a major stroke last year and is mostly paralyzed on one side, though she can still walk with a walker. I've been taking care of her, handling all her medical appointments and daily needs. Her room is right off the back porch entrance to our house, which has become a bit of a weak point in our security. At 3 a.m. last Monday, I was woken up by my grandmother calling my name frantically. She said she could hear people at the back door banging and trying to kick it in. I jumped out of bed, grabbed my firearm from the nightstand, and ran to the back of the house. The banging was loud, and I could hear voices outside. I positioned myself behind the door and yelled for whoever was out there to leave immediately. The banging stopped, so I checked the security camera I installed last year after some suspicious activity in the neighborhood. On the camera, I could see three men standing on my porch. One of them turned to the camera and said, "Just keep going, we'll get in eventually." That's when I took out my phone and used the camera's speaker function to tell them I had a weapon, it was loaded, and if they kicked my door one more time, I wouldn't hesitate to use it. My sister, who had woken up and followed me to the back, was standing behind me screaming that I couldn't shoot them and that it wasn't worth it. The men outside didn't budge, so I put my phone down, cocked my firearm, and started counting to 3. I said if they weren't gone by the time I got to 3, I would fire. As soon as I said 1, they all took off running. My sister started yelling at me that there's never a reason to threaten someone with violence and that I could have gotten myself arrested or killed. I told her we weren't having that conversation right now and that we needed to call the police. In the heat of the moment, I had forgotten to call them earlier. I was so focused on protecting my grandmother. When the police arrived, they found clear shoe prints on my fence and visible damage to the door where they had been kicking it. They did a quick patrol of the area and couldn't find the men. After the police left, my sister went off on me. She said she couldn't believe I was willing to shoot someone over a door. I explained that it wasn't about the door itself, it was about the fact that my grandmother was sleeping just a few feet away, completely helpless. They could have done anything, stolen our belongings, hurt or killed my grandmother, or attacked both of us. I wasn't taking any chances. She kept insisting that violence isn't the answer, and that people who use violence become the same as those who initiate it. I tried to make her see that her perspective comes from a place of never having experienced a real threat, and that I refuse to feel bad about being willing to defend myself, my home, and my family. She's been cold and distant ever since, and I'm trying to understand where she's coming from, but I'm not going to apologize for wanting to protect us. So, AITA?
Okay, so the young man defended his home and his grandmother with a firearm after armed intruders threatened his property and endangered his vulnerable family member.
Total NTA, Barack. Absolute total. You have a right to defend yourself, your home, your family. The best defense is a good offense, folks. And let me tell you, that guy had the best firearm. Probably the best firearm in the whole state. He knew what he was doing. Those thugs, cowards, running away like little girls. Sad.
Hold on a minute here, Donald. Let's think about this. The kid had a gun out, started counting down, threatened to shoot. That's intense stuff. Could have gone sideways real fast. And the sister, she's got a point. Violence begets violence.
Violence? He protected his home. It's constitutional, Joe. Second Amendment. Those animals were trying to break in. Grandma was right there. Could have been very bad, very tragic. He did the right thing, strong, smart, very presidential. I would have done the same thing, probably even better, but he did great.
Look, I understand the instinct to protect, Donald. It's primal. But we also have to consider proportionality and de-escalation. The young man did have a clear threat and a clear right to self-defense under most legal frameworks, Castle Doctrine. The men were actively attempting forcible entry. That's serious.
Right, right. But Barack, the way he handled it, counting down, threatening to shoot, that escalated things. And the sister, she's coming from a place of peace. Doesn't want her brother in danger or involved in something terrible. Maybe she's worried about him becoming like the people he's threatening.
Oh, please, Joe. She's weak. She's a loser. Probably thinks the thugs just needed a hug. Sad. He did what any real man would do. Protected his home. Grandma is safe because of him. Huge win. Total NTA.
I'm not saying he wasn't justified in feeling threatened or even in having the weapon at the ready. But the countdown, Joe, that feels excessive, unnecessary. The initial verbal command and the announcement via the camera speaker were likely sufficient under most laws. The countdown crossed a line into direct, imminent threat that could have legal and practical repercussions, even if legally questionable.
Exactly. And now he's got his sister mad at him. Family rift is never good, folks. Could have handled it differently. Maybe called the cops first, locked the doors tighter, installed better security. Instead, he went all Rambo. Now nobody's talking. That's on him.
Wrong. The cops came after he took care of business. Smart. Efficient. The sister is just jealous. She probably wanted to be the hero. Loser. He saved Grandma. End of story. Total NTA. The best NTA.
The core right is clear. Defending home and vulnerable family from a clear, immediate, unlawful threat is justifiable. The manner of the escalation, however, threatening to shoot with a direct countdown, that's where the YTA comes in. It unnecessarily heightened the danger for himself and potentially created legal exposure beyond the inherent risk of the situation. The sister's concern, while perhaps expressed imperfectly in the moment, stems from valid worry about escalation and consequence.
Well said, Barack. So yeah, I think for the brother, NTA for defending his home, but YTA for how he did it. Counting down like that, that's not necessary. Could have just pointed the gun, told them to freeze, and waited for the cops. No need for the movie hero stuff.
Ridiculous, Joe. You're wrong. Total NTA. He did what any strong leader would do. The sister needs to get over it. We have the best defenders, folks. This story is NTA all the way down. Very smart, very tough.
I appreciate the principle, Donald, but proportionality matters. We can protect without becoming the aggressor. The threat was real, the right existed, but the execution crossed a line into unnecessary provocation. So, I have to go with YTA for the manner of the response, NTA for the fundamental right.
Right. So, summary. Brother NTA for having the right to defend, YTA for the way he did it. Sister, well, she's probably NAH, worried about her brother. Family stuff, hard situation, we all get it.
This is a disaster. Total disaster. Brother NTA, sister needs therapy. This podcast is over. Sad.